Yeah, shake it, girl. Woo, looking great.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the Morning Slam session. I'm WhattaDay, Joe Lowry.
And I am Benny, the PLAYA Scholar. You know, last night I was in Larryland, and this afternoon I'm in Larryland.
Oh, there you go. Larryland. Where's Larryland? Where's that?
Yeah, I interviewed Larry Zbyszko last night. Well, 2 nights ago.
Very good.
Yeah, on When It Was Real, Wednesday night. Larry was our guest. It coincided with the steel cage match with Bruno at Shea Stadium, August 9th, 1980. Nice. I mean, can you believe that was 46 years ago?
I believe everything now. My birthday's coming up on Saturday, and I'm going to be a whopping 57, and I can believe it. I can believe it.
Just a youngin'.
Just a youngin'.
Just a youngin', yep.
Yeah. Wait till things become 65, 75 years later. That's going to be scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
hopefully we're still here to talk about it.
Yeah, hopefully that is true. But I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And as you can join the now over, get this, folks, drum roll, please, 71,000 other fans who have embarked on this YouTube channel right here with Ringside with WhattaDay. Here you'll find daily uploads, exclusive contents, interviews, and much, much more. This channel is growing like no other. Benny, what is shaking over on your side of the world?
Yeah, you're going to hit 100K here before you know it. I'm busy as usual. Like I said, I had a great interview with Larry on Wednesday night. Did my true crime show on Monday. We talked about the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, who terrorized the Los Angeles area in the mid 80s. And and then tomorrow, well, actually later today, what am I talking about? I'm going to do a Sexy Mexi, an Italian Ice show, and we're going to talk about the late great Gino Hernandez, one of the the handsome half breed.
All right, I had a great interview a few years back with Baby Doll when they did the Dark Side of the Ring on Gino Hernandez.
Okay.
And she had a lot of, she debunked a lot of their theories. She no doubt believes that Gino was murdered.
Oh, I have no doubt about that as well.
And obviously he got mixed up in, I think it was cocaine or something was going down. But
he owed
just
people,
a lot of
he
things.
owed the wrong people money. You don't ever do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good interview. I might even have to tune into that. I might have to even check that out. What do you think? Should I tune in? Yeah, maybe I'll tune in. What the hell? Hey, real quick, before we get started, want to pass along our well wishes to WWE Hall of Famer, longtime announcer, good old Jim Ross, who underwent successful brain surgery this past Tuesday. And according to reports from his daughter, the Boomer Sooner, he came through with flying colors and hopefully should be home later today, Friday. So that is some really good news. Prayers up for good old JR. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, that guy is unbeatable. I mean, how many health issues? He lost his wife. I mean, just, one thing after another. He always seems to rise above it.
Yeah, JR is a good man. I've met him a couple of times, and nothing like him. And, Godspeed. I hope everything works out well for him. Hopefully he can get behind the mic one more time to give us call one of his infamous slobber knockers, as I like to say. Oh, yeah.
One of the best ever.
There. Yeah, good stuff. So, this is such a weird week. I don't know if it's the new moon, the no moon, whatever it is. It's like the SummerSlam hangover. It's just been off the charts. Real quickly, what were your thoughts on SmackDown and Raw this week post SummerSlam?
Yeah, a couple of interesting things from Raw. They furthered to me the dissolution of the Vision, because Braun Breaker was obviously very detached. You had that backstage conversation with Paul Heyman. I mean, he's pointing full board towards FEMI, and I don't know when. Logan Paul. I don't know when he's set to return. I think the minute he returns, he gets the tag team title with what's his name, Austin Theory. And I think Braun Breaker moves away from the Vision and goes off solo. Now, will he go with Paul Heyman or not? That would be a very interesting combination.
I know we're going to touch upon the Braun Breaker FEMI thing a little bit on the rundown, but I got to tell you one thing, and I'm going to be honest when I say this, and I'm just getting bored with the Vision. I'm sorry, I'm getting bored. There's nothing that keeps me attached to the television set. you can throw Maxine Dupree all you want in there.
Yeah,
But this is nothing there. Something happened. I don't know if it's Logan's injury, Braun being sidebarred with the FEMI thing, or the lack of Paul Heyman not being around anymore.
I think you just said a mouthful right there. The lack of Paul Heyman. You know, you had Bronson Reed, you had Seth Rollins, you know, you had Logan Paul, and they're all gone.
All right, why don't we get right to it? Here we go with the rundown.
Hey guys, it's time for the rundown.
Let's get to it. Lots of stuff to cover. Watch out for those letters.
All right, well, this is a no-brainer to kick off with this one, but I mean, only in the WWE can you have two women's world champions be recognized and be injured at the same time. So let's play a little catch-up in case you've been living under a rock right now. Rhea Ripley, right before SummerSlam, tore her meniscus, got operated on. She's in recovery now. She's looking at about a 3 to 6 month rehab assignment. Cue the SummerSlam interim championship ladder match champion Chelsea Green. And while her husband last Friday night was chowing down on some Chinese food at good friends of the Wongs over at Kowloon's restaurant, it looks like Fallon Henley took care of Chelsea Green and pretty much ruptured her orbital bone, which Chelsea Green had to go to the ER and, let everybody know that she's hurt. So now we have two world champions that hold the same title that are now both injured. Are you confused like me, Benny, or what?
Oh, hell yeah. Very, very.
Only in the WWE can this happen. I mean, Booker T went on a note saying this week that, he thinks Chelsea should push through the pain and all that stuff. But where are we going with this? She's 35 years old. There are plenty of other women who have paid their dues that could easily be the interim champion. What's the audible here? What do you think they're going to do?
I think, first of all, there shouldn't be an interim. I mean, they should have had Rhea give up the title. Right. And then, maybe have a tournament. And,
sure.
What the notes I have, though, Joe, is like the alarming number of injuries. Over the past year, Jade Cargill was, let's not forget, she had a pretty severe injury. Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquera, I think more than once, right?
Right.
You had Brie Bella now with the broken clavicle, I believe. Yeah. And you had Nikki with the ankle injury.
Right.
And I mean, Liv was injured in the past year.
Yeah, last year at this time. Yeah.
What is? I mean, that's the deeper question. What is causing all these injuries?
Well, I think we talked about this the other day. I think it's the lack of reps, because last year at this time they were slowing down the house shows, which means everybody's was working either once or twice a week, and when you don't get those reps in, this is the end result. Whether it's on the male side too. There were some male injuries that had some kind of male counterparts that had injuries. I can't name them off the top of my head, but nonetheless, these are. Yeah, this is to the point where I think these latest injuries to the women mainly, they put a major screwball into SummerSlam this year. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe besides the lack of reps, are they trying to do too much? I mean, are the high spots getting so ridiculous to try to outdo the previous high spot that, these women are opening themselves up to injury, I believe.
Yeah, well, what it is,
they are.
No, I agree. You want to get on TV, you want to make that impression and all that stuff, but you have to take care of each other in the ring. And if you're not doing it on a consistent level, like you should be, you're going to get these injuries. The Brie Bella one took me by surprise. I couldn't believe, she came back and done just like that.
The focus has shifted, in my opinion. The back in the day, the focus was on protecting your opponent. I think the focus today is getting your shit in.
Well, it's funny what a difference 2 weeks can make, because 2 weeks ago, everybody was bitching and moaning that Liv Morgan wasn't defending her title. She shouldn't be champion. Well, get a load of this now. She is. Well, this is her tweet from the other day. Woke up feeling like I'm going to be the longest reigning women's world champion of all time. And how about being the only women's world champion of all time? What do you think of that?
I think she was so underutilized for the first 3 months of her reign. that I think I'm going to enjoy this now. I really do think I see a long reign in store for Liv. I do think before this is all over, we are going to talk about Liv Morgan as one of the greatest ever. And I think
I agree.
She just needs the chance to show it. I mean, this woman is a charisma magnet. And, you know, whether she's a babyface or a heel, I do want to see, I'm dying to see the babyface turn. But even as a heel, I mean, she brings them to the arena. She puts people in the seats.
Yep. She is a social media, and I hate to use her words, but she is a social media icon because whenever she's out there and people are filming her, I put my Monday Night Morgan moment out on Tuesdays, and that thing, it just draws ridiculous numbers for me. She was actually on TV the other night for less than a minute. 1 minute she was out there. She took a couple of bumps from Rhea and Becky, and that was the end of it. You never saw her again, and now we got the Stephanie and the Becky thing going on, which to me led to a lot of confusion. I hate to backtrack, but you know, they start off Raw with the Judgment Day coming in, you know, Liv and Dom carrying each other, Raquel and Roxanne side by side. No JD McDonough, by the way, which has still yet to been explained. Raquel and Roxanne had a big match. No Liv Morgan by their side. You said it before. Dominic Mysterio was thrown in a match with Dragon Lee. No Liv Morgan by her side. So it was kind of weird. Another weird Raw. Another strange thing where the Judgment Day is coming into the arena. You expect a lot of shenanigans with them, but you only get 30 seconds of Liv Morgan out of all that. So it was.
I mean, I kind of get that. You want Liv to have her presence felt. And
right,
at the same time, given all these injuries, you might want to just, you know, try to minimize the chance of that. I mean, God forbid that happened to her right now. They'd really be screwed.
Yep, I agree. This will just segue right into this. With the injuries to Brie Bella and a handful of other superstars, they've had to start making some NXT call-ups. If you notice, last Friday, Tatum Paxley made her SmackDown debut, and Lola Vice, who just lost the Tuesday before to Kendall Gray, they announced she's going to be heading over to the Red brand, and I do believe there's going to be some additional trades being made. We're not doing the draft thing anymore, but I do believe with these injuries and setbacks, you're going to see a lot of certain wrestlers switching sides. I don't know who yet. They haven't mentioned it. If this is all brand new, this was just talked about literally hours ago. I want to say late last night. So, you know, we're going to see some trades happen. Some people are going to be moving over to Raw, some maybe back over to SmackDown. And then, of course, you know, you got to think about it. What about some of the women that were already let go, like Nikki Cross? Wouldn't it be a great time to bring her back?
Oh, yeah.
You know, to fill the roster void. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah. And who else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that WWE has been very wise to really use NXT to, you know, it's like the Yankees or the Red Sox. What are they?
Yeah.
I think, is it still Pawtucket for the Red Sox or?
No, it's Worcester, the Woo Sox now.
Okay, yeah. So for the Yankees now, it used to be the Columbus Clippers, used to be the Toledo Mud Hens, and now it is the Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And I don't even know what their name is, but you know, you got to have a deep. You have to, you know, when somebody on the big team gets hurt, you got to have that depth, and I think they do have that depth.
No, I agree. And you talk about depth. You know, with the fresh faces. What about this past Tuesday on NXT? This one I was a little bit shocked at, but Zilla Fatu made his presence known on NXT. He's been in the Performance Center for months now. People weren't sure if he was going to arrive in NXT, SmackDown, Raw, but he ended up interfering in a match between Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana, with the winner to fight Tony D'Angelo for the NXT Championship. Zilla Fatu, no doubt about it, now with NXT. Real quickly, your thoughts on Zilla Fatu. Should he have gone right to the main roster instead of coming to NXT?
I think he could have. Now, he's Umaga's son, isn't he? I believe.
Yes, he's Umaga's son, yeah. They look alike, too, yeah.
Yeah. We got to be careful. I mean, my fear for the bloodline is that, and we can talk about, you know, Jay versus Solo and how that all went down on Monday night, which was another, you know, good moment on Raw. But, you know, you don't want to have like the NWO at the end. Even Doug Dillinger was the security guy. I mean, everybody was an NWO, and then it meant nothing to be an NWO. you got to really leave that bloodline as to an elite few. I mean, there was 4 horsemen at the, there was always 4. I mean, maybe that 4th horseman rotated, but there was only 4. You got to be very careful. We don't like oversaturate with the bloodline. Because it's a good angle. I'm very curious. I mean, what happened between Jay and Solo really has me wanting to come back next Monday.
Oh, yeah. I think the opening skit was amazing. I thought we saw the side of Solo that I think the locker room always sees, because he's a jokester behind the scene. And if you see some of his social media videos, he's a funny guy.
Yes,
there's no doubt about it.
A couple of interviews as well. Yes, very funny guy.
The Pew Pew thing and the Roman thing and the Jey Uso thing, did I expect Jey Uso to get the Duke? Yeah, I kind of did, because, you got to play this bloodline thing out. Now, let's not forget, folks, we're building up towards Survivor Series, and the bloodline is going to be a major factor in that PLE. So who it's going to be, who they're going to face, who's going to be part of it, we're starting to build into that now.
Oh,
we're starting to build into that now. And by the way, I don't mean to switch gears. There's not another PLE for the WWE until October for Money in the Bank.
Wow,
did you know that?
Away. Jeez.
So they're all, the only thing they got next up is, I think, in a couple of weeks, Labor Day is late this year. So September 9th is a Sunday. They're going to do a Sunday night main event instead of Saturday night's main event. It's going to be Sunday night. You don't really call that a PLE. It's more like a national televised event or whatever, but it's definitely not a PLE. But, SummerSlam August 1st and 2nd. No, you got to wait till October 10th for the next big one, which is Money in the Bank. So they got a lot of time and air to fill, so a lot of voids to fill on this. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but yeah, Zilla Fatu's now going to be around. How long he stays in NXT remains to be seen. I don't see him down there that long. For some reason, I just don't see him there that long. I think he's going to be a much better commodity up either at Raw or SmackDown. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they just need to vet him, make sure he fits in with the WWE system. But I mean, he's he's a legacy with his father being a legend, Umaga.
Yeah,
again, it makes me wonder what they're going to do with him. And I mean, I really think, this is going to be. We're going to talk later about the summer of Punk. I think this is the summer of the Bloodline.
Yeah, it could very well be. Real quickly, I just want to backtrack. Rhea Ripley posted a video, fresh off her surgery and everything. I think she's itching to get back in the ring sooner rather than later. But that was her and Buddy Matthews. They put a video out that came out yesterday on 2 days ago, Wednesday. Her getting back in the ring and trying to get some reps in. So looks like she wants to get back in. I mean, good for her. They're going to need her back. I don't see it happening much before Survivor. Well, definitely won't happen before Survivor Series. You may be looking at the Rumble at this point. I'm not sure, but who knows? But I didn't want to forget about playing that. So that was good to see Rhea Ripley back in the gym, even if she's just getting her reps back in. So that's kind of neat right there. Yeah. So another big thing going on here is that was reported. Bayley. That's right. Bayley. Her contract expires at the end of this year, 12/31/2026. Per WWE sources, I have this on Good Division that Bayley does have a decision to make. They did offer her a new contract. She has yet to sign it. Is this one of those wait and see type things? Is she going to tread the waters? Is this something that she may go jump ship and go to AEW? Or what do you think? Do you see Bayley sticking with WWE or moving on?
I would like to think of Bayley as a WWE lifer. She just seems to belong there.
I would think so, yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure she's made a lot of money. And I mean, I guess a lot of it's going to have to do with, what is she making now and versus what are the terms of the new contract? Did they cut her? Like they did with Sheamus. Right. I mean, Sheamus, he retired, right? Instead of taking a pay cut. Right, I would think the only influx of new talent. And they are deep. I mean, the women's division, even with the injuries, is very, very deep. now Bailey is a future, I'm sure, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Without a doubt, has done it all. But I mean, at this point, they might not view her as like a necessity with talent. And I'd like to see her stay though. And I mean, even if it means
I would, yeah.
Yeah, and she's in her mid to late 30s, I'm gonna guess.
Yep, she's up there almost with Charlotte. She's like 35, 36 years old. Charlotte's almost 40. She came in with Alexa Bliss and all those girls. So Becky Lynch.
I mean, she still looks relatively healthy. I mean, I would just, maybe she can work a couple more years and maybe, do something else. Maybe be a commentator. Maybe work at NXT. I would just like her to finish her career with WWE.
Yeah, the one thing that is bugging me, though, and you had mentioned, too, is these new restructured contracts, whether or not they're, we don't get the logistics of them, which I hate. But, are they pay cuts? Are they, is it not the same amount of salary? Are there injury bonuses or not bonuses? I mean, we're not dealing with the contracts that, we had when Vince McMahon was in charge. We're dealing with TKO now, corporate entities and all that stuff. Sheamus has been vocal about it. Didn't want to take a pay cut, so he moved on. So, are we going to be there with Bailey at the end of the year? We'll find out. Hopefully not. We never know.
And Bailey I think Bailey has a bit of leverage because of her friendship with Sasha Banks and, Tony Khan with his, blank checkbook. I mean,
exactly.
If somebody offers you like 3 times more money than you're making now, that's awfully hard to say no to.
Yeah, you go back 5-6 years ago, the landscape's totally changed now. You re-signed because that was the only game in town, but then here comes AEW, and there's another game in town that you could possibly go to that they obviously don't work as much. And
they pay very well.
They pay very well. Exactly. We did touch upon this earlier, but we were talking about division, Oba Femi, Braun Breaker. I'm going to pull this graphic up. You tell me, do you think this whole thing between Oba Femi and Braun Breaker and the future of the WWE, is this too soon to take place? Are we rushing this so close after the Braun Breaker Oba Femi feud?
Maybe, but I think, the priority right now is to keep Oba Femi hot. Because he's got, he's not going to face Roman Reigns in the very near future. The end. That's the end goal. But he's got to work a couple other programs between. I see maybe a Braun Breaker, and then maybe I see a big Cass unless Enzo comes back.
Stacking bodies.
Please, dear God, let Enzo come back because this ain't working for me. But no, I think Braun Breaker's luster has really kind of gotten dulled by his, but once Paul Heyman left the division, and now you got what's her name? What's her chops there?
Maxine.
Yeah, I can't even remember her name. And now you have Paul Heyman, who's arguably the greatest talker in the history of professional wrestling.
Sure.
And you replace her with a relative like newcomer, and I mean a lot of the momentum that division had was because of Paul Heyman. Well, now you got Logan Paul injured. You got Seth Rollins gone. You got Bronson Reed on the shelf. You got, Austin Theory, nice look, pretty decent in-ring talent. The guy's a human charisma void. Maybe Big Cass joins the division and him and Austin could be like they could be the drizzling shits or something.
But to me, if that faction is not whole, why have it? You got Bronson Reed, who's still out. You had Braun Breaker with the hernia surgery over the winter. You had a lot of influx. You had Seth Rollins and that deal going south. If there was ever a time to put a faction on the shelf, and of course now we got Logan Paul's injury. If there was ever a faction to say, hey, look, let's take a break with this, and put them off to the side and, let everybody heal up and come back at a certain time, maybe at War Games or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been the time. But I'm not agreeing with the Oba Femi Braun Breaker. I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it
could be.
What's the end game when you think about it? Say Oba beats Braun. What's the end game? Braun was 6 months ago, Braun Breaker was the future.
Right.
You know, and then you got Oba with Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar, which we're now hearing went off script and just grabbed Oba by the throat and said, "Here's the future." You pretty much did in all the work you did with Braun Breaker. So what happens? That this is a lot of influx right now in the WWE that just makes absolute zero sense.
Very good point, Joe, because these are two guys that you absolutely have to protect.
Right,
and
exactly.
So you have them working against each other. Well, one of them is going to get the better of the other, and then what does that do?
Right.
It's might bury. But Braun Breaker absolutely cannot afford to take any more defeats.
Else, no way, nope.
And
nope.
I mean, and if Oba loses, then I think you take a lot of the luster of him winning that program against Brock Lesnar. So you got to keep him strong. And
my only guess at this point would somebody's going to have to switch brands. Somebody's going to have to go somewhere else just to get them away from each other so they can have that slow build and all that. Because right now, I don't see the end game. And if the end game is Oba beating Braun, you're basically burying Braun, and that's that. And you're not going to have the Braun Breaker of old and all that stuff. So it's basically you're just ending it.
Yeah, I mean, the priority is obviously to keep Oba hot, but like I don't know that at the expense of Braun Breaker is really the best thing for this.
I know. I just don't get it. See what I mean? This post SummerSlam hangover is just lingering, and I don't know what's going to happen next week. And another thing that's got me going, and I hate to be on like this bitch fest, but I know Raw is going to be held in Mexico City next month, and they got this tournament going on. And I'm looking at this tournament of all these luchas and all that. Great talent, don't get me wrong. But for the love of God, does anybody really think they're going to any one of these guys is going to beat Roman Reigns?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this is like La Parka versus Goldberg back in the day.
I'm like, it's great for like, it's good to have it like on a Monday night or something like that. But if this is the build up to Monday Night Raw in September, I think it's the 14th that they're going to be in Mexico City. This is the end result. You're going to bust your chops to lose to Roman Reigns. I mean, unless they have something up their sleeve, which I doubt at this point, because I don't see Roman relinquishing that title very much soon, especially before War Games or Survivor Series and things like that.
I mean, look at the mold of the NWA back in the day. Like you had a Jack Briscoe or a Terry Funk, or even Flair or Dusty. They would travel from territory to territory, and they would meet that territory's champion, and they would either like wrestle a 60-minute Broadway, or they would barely get by with their title. And I don't see Roman Reigns wrestling, even like a Penta, and it being like, I mean, for 1 second, are you going to think that Roman Reigns might lose? Hell no.
Yeah.
So
I agree. And another thing that's really pissing me off too, and I hate to sound like that because I'm really a positive person. This Roman Reigns not being at Raw every week is just ridiculous. He is the face of the company, the face of Raw. He should be there all the time. Everybody else is. The Usos are there. They're all there, but him. I don't get it. I just don't get why Roman Reigns is not at Raw every Monday when he is the champion. If he wasn't champion, that's another thing. If he was injured, that's another thing. But if he's the champion, the face of the company, wouldn't you be there?
Yeah, in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not in the ring, but like even for the backstage stuff or a promo,
anything. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. Right. You don't have to put him in the ring and jeopardize anything that's health wise and all that stuff. But for God's sakes, if he's the face of the face of Raw, the champion, he's got to be there. All right, that completes the rundown and the bitch fest and all that good stuff.
It was good stuff.
Right now, I'm going to cue this up. This is the AEW moment of the night. This is going to be, you got to listen to this now because I showed this to you before we got on the air. This is Willow Nightingale being interviewed by Renee Paquette, who is going to be attacked by Mercedes Moné, who we all know is Sasha Banks. But towards the end of the video, I want everybody to listen to what the crowd is actually chanting at the end of this at the end of this fight. Listen to this now.
You still have a whole career ahead of you, being champion, different championships, et cetera, but
Yes! Whoa! Hey! You want to embarrass me, Willow, huh? You want to
Where's the camera, huh?
Where's the damn camera, huh? Keep smiling, Willow, huh? I'm gonna give you something to smile back.
Sasha, come home! Sasha, we love you! Come home!
Dumb bitch.
All right, Betty, what stood out to you towards the end of that video the most?
I thought I heard something like Sasha come home or something like that.
Yeah. Sasha, come home. Sasha, we love you. I queued this up this morning, and as I was playing it throughout the day, I'm like, wait a second. They didn't even edit this out. Like, this is something that they could have edited out very easily. They could have cut to commercial. They could have cut the microphones. But that what do you get? You get Sasha, come home. Sasha, we love you. And she's not Sasha Banks in AEW. She's Mercedes Moné, as we all know. But this is the production crap that I'm talking about with AEW. But that is the AEW moment of the night. What did you think of that, by the way?
I think they need to work on their production there, because that's something you definitely do not want other people to hear.
I just think that is amazing. Sasha, come home. Sasha, we love you. Almost like there was a plant in the audience that knew where the microphone was, because that guy sounded like he was right next to that microphone.
Standing right next to him, yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever. But nonetheless, that is your AEW of the night. We're just cooking right along here, folks. Oh, here's a good segment.
You got questions? We got answers.
Time for this week's Q&A. We got some good ones.
Yeah, we do get some good ones here. And we talked about this earlier. Balor Club Guide Podcast via X is asking any word on when Enzo Amore will be back on WWE television. Any word for you? I know you love Big Cass and his stacking bodies. What do you think?
Oh, good God. Please, Enzo, come back ASAP. I want to hear that song, SAWFT. That's where Cass belongs. I mean, what a boost that would be to the WWE tag team division to have the two of them back as a unit. Because, I mean, like Enzo or not, that guy is he is a charisma magnet.
He is. No, there's no doubt about it. The caveat to me would be, first off, we do know Enzo's been training at the Performance Center. He's basically awaiting a creative direction, whenever that is. But I'm telling you right now, I think the kicker of all this, you got to bring Carmella back. You got to bring Carmella, reintroduce her back with those guys, bring it all home again. And, you get Carmella out there, you get Enzo, and then you get Big Cass. I think that'd just be one hell of a...
That might be very interesting, being that Carmella's married to Corey Graves. That could lead to a little bit of, tension on the air.
Yeah, you never know. You could play it out like that, but I would just love to see that, what's old is new again shtick come back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good question. All right, we're going on. Fab Romano via Instagram's asking, we kind of talked about this earlier. Now that Rhea Ripley has undergone surgery for her torn meniscus, what is her recovery timeline? I'm showing right now reports are indicating that her rehab and recovery could be anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Now, if I were a betting man, I would probably say be closer to, you're probably looking at the 2027 Royal Rumble, which is in February. That might be your more realistic timeline. And that's barring no setbacks. Now, do you think there's a possibility, Benny, that she could come back sooner, especially with her already being back in the gym? Is
there a possibility? Hell yeah. But, you got to be really careful. This lady's your franchise. You don't want to rush her back for the sake of rushing her back and then lose her again. You've got to make absolutely sure this lady's 110% to come back. There's no need to. Well, there might be a need to rush it because they need her back, but
right.
This has to be a long-term thing. They have to think of the future, not just the here and now.
Yeah, my guess is most likely it'll be that time frame. I will say the 2027 Royal Rumble, which is in February. Again, barring no setbacks, because that's the worst thing you need is if you're already back in training and all of a sudden something happens. So, good luck to her. I hope it's sooner rather than later. And I hate seeing people on the shelf. She's great for the industry. She's young. She's got it going. So hopefully she can get back sooner. So
yeah.
All right. Tony East via X is saying, we got a Zilla Fatu question. Now that Zilla Fatu has made his way to the NXT, do you see any of the NXT call-ups to the main roster, and I'm assuming they mean males. The only one that I know right now that's probably on his way out, he's the current NXT champion, is Tony D'Angelo. They said they've been making waves. They've loved his new character. He's stepped away from the Family Guy thing. He's more like that renegade guy. So I expect Tony D'Angelo to most likely be one of the guys to move up to the main roster. Do you have anybody else in mind that you think might be up there?
Well, I mean, now is Cruz Montana still in NXT?
Cruz Montana just debuted last week.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a short timer there. I think he'll get called up fairly quickly. I think Zilla will. I mean, again, the NXT, WWE and NXT, they're booming with talent. And I mean, you don't want to ever have injuries, but yeah, in a way, 1925, Wally Pipp, the first baseman of the New York Yankees.
Wally Pipp.
I'm going to sit it out today, Miller. You're saying to Miller Huggins, I got a headache. Well, Miller said, okay, rookie, get in there to Lou Gehrig. And Lou Gehrig was there for the next, I think, 14 years without missing a game.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, you never know when an injury creates opportunity.
Yeah, I look at the NXT thing now. I know it's a developmental territory. There's a lot of things. I know people watch LFG and they watch NXT. And there is a timeline for these superstars. And I think it's depending on your athleticism and your experience, 2 to 3 years is basically your cutoff point. If you're not cutting it within that 2 to 3 year time frame, most likely you're going to be let go. Or shockingly, I don't know if you knew this, but Evander Holyfield, Elijah, his son Elijah, who was on LFG, got sent to AAA this past week.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which was a shock because they never send anybody elsewhere. You either go to the main roster or, you get sent back down. But he's going to AAA to be reunited with his trainer, which was The Undertaker. So you're going to be having situations like that take place, which I think is kind of neat. But the timeline for most people, they need to understand, if you've been with NXT for at least a good 2-3 years and you haven't done much, chances are, they're going to be looking at different avenues for you, whether it's going to be outside of wrestling or if it's going to be announcing, training, whatever have you. But when you bring in the Cruz Montanas and, of course, the Zilla Fatus and all those guys, I think, in the Grayson Wallers, I think they're there basically to guide you, to help, polish you off, so to speak, to give you that finishing cleanse where, okay, this is what you need to do, work on that, and then you're going off to the main roster. I think that's
they want to stamp the WWE brand on you.
Yeah, they're not they're not going out week after week like Johnny Rod saying, what the hell can I do to make it in this business?
Right.
Good question there. All right, moving on here. Justin Lawless via Facebook is asking, do any of the knowledgeable fans actually believe that Roman Reigns will lose the title to a luchador at Raw in Mexico City next month? I think we've already answered that. No. I'll be honest with you. I think this tournament is merely a stunt to put butts in seats because Raw is heading to Mexico City for the first time in 15 years. I didn't think they needed this tournament to put butts in seats down there. What do you think?
I agree with you. I don't think they needed it. I think it's a nice little treat, though, for the fans down there. But, I mean, again, realistically, we know the outcome already.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I'd love to see an upset. I don't know, but I see nobody on that bracket, whether it's Penta or anybody, that's going to upset Roman Reigns at that point, especially with the bloodline looming around ringside, which I'm sure will happen.
How great would it be if they did a 60-minute Broadway like back in there, or even a 30-minute Broadway? Because that would be great. I mean, now all of a sudden that person, whoever it is, you put them on the map. You're a made man. Now. You went to a draw with the world champion. It doesn't.
Yeah, there's no doubt about
it. Hurts the world champ. Still got his title. The crowd went batshit. I think it's a win all around.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for me, but I do honestly believe this whole thing was just to get that attention, put butts in seats. Mexico City, first time in 15 years that Raw will head down to Mexico, so that's good. Last question here. We got, you can't tweet me via X. Is it true that the WWE is interested in making the Royal Rumble a 2-night affair? What do you think of that, Benny? 2 nights of Royal Rumble.
I think with SummerSlam now 2 days and wrestling, I think you leave everything else as is, because again, when you put too much, you distort, like you dilute the importance of a WrestleMania and a SummerSlam. To me, WrestleMania was always number 1. SummerSlam was always number 2. I don't want to confuse it anymore.
Yeah, on my past shows with Sportskeeda, this question came up more often than not. And believe it or not, just like SummerSlam, just like WrestleMania, this one and Money in the Bank, don't be surprised in the next couple of years, may turn into 2 nights events. And the reason being is because you have a male and a female Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And you have a male and a female Money in the Bank. And what better way to do that is, instead of drowning it out with an 8-hour night, you could do 4 hours one night and 4 hours the next. You take your pick on who main events each night. But as of right now, Glendale, Arizona was just announced for 2027 Royal Rumble. It's only 1 night. So if there is going to be a 2-night Royal Rumble, if that's in the making, it won't be at least until 2028. But I do see those big 4, WrestleMania, Rumble, Money in the Bank, those types of PLEs will most likely eventually go the route of 2-night events.
We will see.
And I do want to thank everybody for those questions. We had some good questions today.
Yeah, they were very good questions. Yes, thank you.
By the way, folks, if you do got questions, we got answers. You can send them over to WhattaDay Joe and Benny the PLAYA Scholar right here on social media. We will read them and answer them on the air. We don't do duplicate questions, and we do get a lot of duplicates, so we just grab the one that came into us first. But this is Benny's favorite time. Let's get over to Benny right now. So you are up in 20 seconds.
Let's take a look back at this week in pro wrestling history.
All right, Professor Scala, what do you got cooking this week?
Yes, sir. We talked about the Summer of Punk earlier. So August 14, 2011, SummerSlam in Los Angeles. CM Punk beats John Cena to win the Undisputed Championship.
Okay.
After the match, of course, it has to be with a wrinkle. Kevin Nash appears out of nowhere.
That is Kevin Nash. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Jackknife powerbombs Punk. And then Alberto Del Rio comes in and cashes the Money in the Bank contract. And then there was an epic Monday Night Raw from San Diego the following night. When I love that exchange between Kevin Nash and he goes, "You look like somebody from a Pikeville Waffle House." I mean, but Punk more than held his own on that one. Punk accused him of sabotaging it, and that led to a feud between Triple H and Kevin Nash. But it effectively, dashed the Summer of Punk. Now he would go on later, I believe it was in November, to win back the championship, and then go on an epic, I believe it was a 434-day run.
Okay.
This day, the 15 whole years ago. You talk about time.
Wow.
Yes.
15 years ago. Jeez. That's a long time ago. And they called that the Summer of Punk, correct?
Summer of Punk.
Unbelievable. I'm just going through here before we wrap up the show. We talked about Liv Morgan and how she's like the working champion and all that stuff. They announced a bunch of, I got a press release earlier. They announced a bunch of house shows coming up at the end of the month, August 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 28th, 30th, all the way into September and so forth. And she is listed everywhere, including Savannah, Georgia, Ecuador, Colombia, and Argentina.
Whoa.
Believe it or not. So, and in the midst of all that, her movie, Bad Lieutenant Tokyo, which will be premiering at the Toronto Film Festival in September, is on a Monday night. Monday Night Raw is in Mexico that night. So I'm assuming we're not going to see Liv that night because she'll probably be at the premiere of that.
They could show it on location or something like that.
Or they could show it on location, but there's 3 nights of viewing. So Liv's going to be very, very, very busy the next few weeks, probably leading all the way into October, especially these international dates is insane. So a lot of traveling coming up for your current working women's world champion. No doubt about that. All right. So, Benny, what do you got coming up this week? I know you mentioned some stuff earlier. What do you got cooking?
Like I said, we're doing that Gino Hernandez thing later tonight, 7 o'clock. And then next Monday on my true crime show, very interesting case. The guy's name is Ronnie Alcala, and he was actually on the dating game. His nickname is the Dating Game Killer.
Okay.
He's one of these guys, they don't know how many bodies. This guy could have killed over 100 people.
Oh, wow.
He actually won the dating game, and this is like 1967. And
wow.
I think he already had a body count, but the woman who picked him was so creeped out that she declined to go on the date with him. Good thing, right?
Yeah. Was there in that movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt? Wasn't there like a skit on that?
There might have been, but yeah,
he foiled the murder.
Right.
Like it was, he was on the dating game. He was going to kill her, go on the date. Something happened. I remember reading about that.
But he always had a camera with him. And when they caught him, I mean, they found reels and reels of film. And a lot of the women, like the pictures of the women, you know, women that had like disappeared. I mean, like I said, he's one of the, I don't want to say like underrated, but he is underrated in terms of serial killers. You don't hear a lot about him, but his body count, he's right up there with the Ted Bundys of the world, you know, the Green River Killer and those guys. So yeah, that's what we're doing on Monday night. And then, you know, Wednesday with Nikita, we're going to cover another card at Madison Square Garden. And, good. Of course, I'm always here every Friday.
That's right. I was started watching the Hulk Hogan documentary again on Netflix for some reason. It popped up on my feed again, and I just like watching the old stuff. You know, when wrestling was real, and Evan Ginsberg talks about it, and you know, just you know, I was a kid then. I get it, but like, you know, nobody understands this day and age that, you know, wrestling back then were just a bunch of beer drinking fat guys who smoked cigars in the front row. And Vince McMahon, when Hulk Hogan came along, turned that into a family event. And a lot of people don't know that. So it's kind of neat watching that.
Well, we went over it last week. Was it in 1981? You paid $3 to see a great card at Boston Garden, right?
Right there.
It was a blue collar sport. You know, it was and it was more frequent. I mean, there was going to be another event at the Boston Garden. I would venture to say that many of these cards at like the Madison Square Garden and Boston Garden, they stacked up very favorably against a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam. You know, and you're seeing that for $3.
15,000 people were at every month that first Saturday because WWE came to the Garden usually the first Saturday of each month, if not the second, but sold out every time. It was and to the point where you had to buy scalp tickets if you didn't have tickets.
Right. And you went there with a whole different feeling than the fan that goes to wrestling in 2026. You went there expecting, you know, Morocco and Snuka to beat the living crap out of each other.
You went to see a fight. You went to see a
bloodbath, a literal. I mean, and it was real. Now we go to watch high spots and you know, and there is an E in WWE for a reason. It is entertainment. And, you know,
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, to the people who have grown up with this type of wrestling, you can't really fault them because they don't really know any better. But I just feel like when we were younger and when we went to the matches, it was REAL, real.
Yeah, it was. You went there for a fight, and you know there were 8 or 9 bouts on the card, and you always went to see the one fight. All the other matches didn't matter. There might have been some super cards. I know Madison Square Garden did a lot of that. Boston Garden, I could probably count on one hand where they had like seriously 5 or 6 bouts that would keep you in your seat. But for the most part, you were there for the one big fight. Whoever Backlund was facing, whoever Morocco was facing, or Snuka was facing, or Guerrero Martel were facing, or Fuji and Saito, you were there for the big match. You weren't there for the other 8.
Yeah, but the other 8 were also good. Like I love watching Johnny Rods and SD Jones. I could watch them every day of the week. Or SD and Baron Cicluna. I watch them every day of the week.
How did Johnny Rods and Jose Estrada never win the tag title?
Oh my God! What an outrage! Yes, sir.
What an outrage is right. I believe I thought maybe for sure there would have been that one time where they would have got the Duke. But not this time.
Give him an upset and have him drop it the next week. But at least you give him that one moment of glory.
Yep. Hey, real quick programming note. At the end of the month, August 27th, I do believe. Let me check my email. I think it's the 27th. We're going to have a guest on here. Her name is Xena Phoenix. She is from the WoW Women of Wrestling. I know I've done a lot of work with WoW. They've relocated back over to Las Vegas, Nevada, the Fremont Street Experience. Good friends with Goldie Collins and, of course, Katarina Jinx, also known as Animal Instinct. But they have a new person, Xena Phoenix, who is probably going to be their next big champion in the next year or two. She's agreed to come on the show. And I've been talking with the producers. We may even get an occasional co-host from the WoW Women of Wrestling that'll be joining us. So that's some housekeeping items to take note of. And other than that, wow, what a week. Let's hope this week is a little bit better than last week. What do you think?
And let's hope that nobody else gets hurt.
Let's hope nobody else gets hurt. That is absolutely right. Man, yeah, who's left to get hurt? Nobody's left to get hurt. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here. By the way, let me get my other housekeeping out of the way. Thank us for joining in the Morning Slam session. Be sure to catch this show every Friday morning right here on Ringside with WhattaDay YouTube channel. Plus, you can watch the replays all day and night. And as a friendly reminder to hit that like and subscribe button as you can join the over 71,000 subscribers who have joined this YouTube channel. I'm like shocked saying that. I thought getting to 60 was huge. 70, now I'm at 71,000. Awesome. So it's just unbelievable. And don't forget, tonight's SmackDown is right up the street from yours truly at the Boston Garden. Let's hope they have a decent showing, some good matches. And again, let's hope that nobody gets hurt.
Yes.
That nobody gets hurt. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. I'm Joe Lowry. What a day. Benny, I'll let you say goodbye.
I'm Benny the PLAYA Scallop. And be careful out there.
Yeah. Don't play with matches.
Welcome, my friends, to the Morning Slam session. Professional wrestling and ruthless aggression. I'm telling you guys, you really should stay. Check out Benny the PLAYA and Joe WhattaDay. The guys give you the best pro wrestling news and their fresh, hard-hitting pro wrestling views. Chair shots, lips hot, and all the great feuds straight from the mouths of two righteous dudes. So head on down to the Morning Slam for some hard-hitting wrestling and live Morgan Glam.
Woo, looking great.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What a day!